Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And today we are talking about the news again. So, as promised in our first installment of the news, every week when new updates come out, new previews, all that fun stuff kind of gets rolled out by EA Capital Games, we're going to go ahead, dedicate an episode a week to keep you up to date in case you're not on the forums, hawking around, staying up to date. I want to make sure that you are on top of this game and know what's coming up and what is happening right now. But before we actually go that far, I just want to take a moment and thank you guys so much for being super awesome. So when I made my Darth Vader 6-star unveiling video about 3 days ago, I was at 70 subscribers, and then after that video, we jumped up over 100 subscribers in these past few days, and we are now tipping 200 subscribers. So I want to thank you so much. Even though it's not a lot, when I first started this whole series, it was mainly to help my guild because they were asking questions on Arena, Raid, Galactic War, and I wanted to help them out, and I'm glad these videos are helping you guys out. So yeah, keep me updated. Let me know what you guys want to hear, because what you guys tell me, I'll make sure I try to at least answer in the comments or just make a video on it if a lot of people are asking it. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're going to talk about some general stuff first before we talk about mods, in case you guys haven't heard about that. It's huge, and I don't want to get too carried away before we get there. So first things first, in my Darth Vader video, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but a few things happened that you should be aware of if you haven't seen that video. One, new achievements were added to get more Darth Vader shards, and that's exactly why I was able to do a 6-star Vader video finally. So make sure you grab those extra rewards if you haven't done so yet. Next thing, there was a pack out there. It was called a Galactic Gear pack or something like that. It was in my video, and pretty much what it was just a huge pack, and you had a chance to get some purple gear, but more importantly, the raid gear. So I actually bought one. Some other people in my guild bought one, and a lot of people weren't happy about that. Essentially, most people, at least 90% of the things that people I saw get this, they just got a lot of purple gear for something they already had a lot of. So I kind of felt like it was 600 crystals down the drain. If you had some better luck, let me know in the comments. I'm kind of curious to see if other people actually spent 600 crystals to make it work out. So yeah, a lot of people were just saying across the board it wasn't worth it. It's not you can't get it anymore, so probably don't have to worry about it unless they roll it out again. Maybe they'll change it if they do. Okay, and in terms of more purchasing stuff, if you like to drop $60 in one sitting and you don't have these characters, there is a Jedi pack out there. It gives you Obi-Wan, Anakin Skywalker, some Qui-Gon shards, Counselor shards. I believe the Jedi Guardian's also included in that, as well as some various credits, droids, and all that fun stuff. I personally have not dropped $60 in one sitting on this game. Last time I spent money was in February. Then I realized money wasn't getting me far because I wasn't spending a lot of it. So since February, I haven't spent money, but some of you might find it useful. If you're starting out, you want to get a good starting pack. Those characters, Anakin and Obi-Wan, and those Qui-Gon shards, they are definitely helpful. But keep in mind, they are all free to play characters to farm, so might not be the best rate of return depending how you look at it. So other little thing, if you go into the shard shop, I've talked about this as well. You can now refresh the shard shop for 100 crystals. Not sure if a lot of people will do it because, one, everything's kind of expensive in there. But if you're one of those people who have pretty much every character, you already even have General Grievous at 7 stars, it might not be worth it for you. Might actually be worth it for you then to farm what's now in there, which is raid gear. So they added salvage parts in there, and they added the whole component itself. So when I took a look at my shard shop earlier, you can get a droid collar for 4,200 shard currency. So if you happen to have the money and you have nothing else to spend, I think that's exactly why it's there. So people who spent a lot of money on this game, they have nothing else to spend it on. Now they have a chance to buy raid gear. And you can also buy salvage for, I believe, 252 shard currency, and you get a couple pieces of salvage. So nothing too crazy there. So yeah, we're going to push all that to the side. Not going to talk about all that too much because I kind of briefly mentioned it this past Vader video that we had going on. So let's get into what just happened this past week and what's going to happen, and an update that will be voluntary come July 12th, which is tomorrow, and it's going to be mandatory for everyone in the Google Play and App Store come July 13th. So the general things that are happening in this future update is that they are finally raising the ally cap to 50 members. Before we were only limited to 35 characters, and it kind of felt like you really didn't have much wiggle room there, especially since your guild has 50 members in it. You either had to say to some of them, hey, I can't fit you in, or you'd have to do some spring cleaning and find the people who aren't active anymore in your ally list, knock them out, get someone in, and it's kind of tedious. So this will also be great, especially if you want to do the Cantina battles, dark side, light side battles, all that fun stuff. You'll have more allies to choose from, and more, might be easier to get through them. So a lot of good things coming from there. So that's an awesome update right there. Another little thing, if you like to do Bronze Pack openings, which I do sometimes, or if you're a big Chromium Pack person, they're finally adding a skip button to get through all those animations much faster, and they're also adding another button apparently to just jump immediately to the next pack. So another little thing, but for a lot of people who do a lot of card pack openings, it does get kind of annoying after a while, I will agree. Biggest pack opening I've ever did, I don't have a video of this, but I used to have like 60,000 ally points saved up, and it was just, it was annoying. You're sitting there for like 20 minutes just trying to get through all of them. Minor, but for some of them, it's a huge difference. So another thing, guild activities. So one of the big questions I get in my guild, happens almost every day except Tuesdays when Galactic War battles come around, is they always ask, what is the next event? And it's not a big deal. You give them the heads up. Maybe sometimes there's pictures kind of showing like a calendar. But they're finally adding in the guild activities section, when you go to the bottom right, tap on guild activities, there's going to be a little section that tells you what today's event is and what tomorrow's event. So you can be a bit more efficient. So if tomorrow's all about daily activities, you can kind of save your daily activities, and once that new activity pops up for the guild, then you can go ahead and maximize your output, so you're getting more currency, and in turn the guild is going to get some more currency to start more raids. So awesome update there as well. Another thing, more of like a bug fix. There's a lot of bug fixes, and if you know, there were a lot of bugs coming in the past week alone, especially around July 6th. A lot of things were happening, but one of the bug fixes that people were just begging to finally address was the fact that when characters got stunned, somehow they were able to dodge still. The only logical thing that makes sense is if the person attacking, they tripped or they somehow missed someone who's standing still. So it really didn't make much sense. They're finally going to address this come this future update, July 12th, July 13th. So I'm looking forward to that, because it does get quite annoying sometimes when the whole point of stunning is so they stay in place and you can finally knock them down one by one. Lastly, before we get to mods, I personally am just going to go ahead and say this. I am not the happiest camper about this, but and a lot of people aren't as well. Just if you go to forums, if you go to Reddit, all these places, people are not happy with Galactic War. I made a video about it a couple weeks ago about what I do in Galactic War, and I even said that Galactic War has its periods of ups and downs. And when I made that one video, it was just so beautiful. You could just fly through it. It was easy. People were happy. For some reason, the developer came out and they said that we have to up the difficulty, and it's meant to be hard, which, okay, fine, I get it. They want to make it a challenge. But for a lot of senior players like myself and a lot of people who played this game at they're at level 80, Galactic War is just too much of a chore. There isn't really any good rewards. Yeah, sure, you get the credits, but sometimes you'll do all this pain in this Galactic War, and you just end up with, like, I don't know, Coruscant Underworld Police Shard, and it's annoying. Now they added a lot of some of the nodes are much harder. So usually number 6 is really, that's when they up the difficulty all of a sudden, which right now in the video you will be seeing. And yeah, so I've actually, in this video alone, this section right here that you're watching, I actually lost quite a few characters at node 6. And it's kind of disheartening, it's kind of annoying. You just for people like me, you just want to fly through Galactic War, you just want to be done with it, get your shards or whatever, because there's really nothing good in there right now. So people are saying, as well as myself, I do agree with this, either make the rewards better so it gives us incentive to do it, or just put it back to where it was a couple weeks ago, where you could just fly through it. I was happy, didn't feel like a chore. I was done with it like in 15 minutes, 10 minutes tops with no resets or whatever. But they made it way difficult now, and they even stated in one of their updates that they do not plan on making additional changes in the near future to Galactic War. So it seems like this will be staying here for a while. And another thing they will be fixing to make Galactic War even harder is at the very end of this Galactic War video I have posted that we're talking over, you'll see at the very last node, sometimes for people who have like very high level squads or whatever, I'm not sure, it's a bug obviously, so I'm not sure what the science is behind it, but at the very last node, people will get this super easy squad. Like we're talking people with blue and green characters at some super low level with like 2 stars on the characters. And it's a nice cooldown. I liked it for the past week or two, however this bug has been around. It makes things, it's a nice cooldown, but they said we're taking that out. It's going to be back to like something hard again. So they're really knocking home with this Galactic War has to be hard. So if you aren't excited with this, I would suggest, go to the forums, go to Reddit, there's like an official Reddit page for the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes game. Express your concern. If you like the way it is, hey, that's great. Yeah, leave it there. Hopefully it's not giving you a hard time, but even for me, even though I can still complete it, it's just a headache and it's annoying, and it's just not worth it at this point. So with all that set aside, that's all pretty much the big stuff happening. The developers' comments on the Galactic War, all those other little things. So let's just go ahead and talk about what you've probably been waiting for, which is the mods. So the mods is just a completely different, it's a whole different aspect to this game. So when you're farming, when you're playing this game, or when you're picking characters, when the game first came out, when people were farming, they had one thing in mind: arena. So that's cool. When raids came out, then that added another thing to our list. So now when you're farming, you're planning on, what should I get for the raid now? And yeah, so that's when people started farming characters like T-Bow, the Ewoks, when no one really touched them before. So it's a great thing. Now they're adding a new thing to this game, which are called mods. And essentially what they are, we kind of had a little hint at it a while ago in the last news video. I posted a picture where I thought it was some sort of data card. Well, it kind of isn't, kind of is, but essentially what it is, it's this card that each character gets in the game. And there's like those several little keys that go inside, 6 keys in total. And each key that you put in provides a significant boost to the character stats. So it's adding another element to this game. So before, we all knew what a maxed out Qui-Gon Jinn looked like. We all knew what a maxed out Count Dooku looks like, and it was constant between everyone. It was there was no difference between one maxed out Dooku versus the other maxed out Dooku. And now there's going to be a huge difference with this, because mods, now they're gonna change stats on these characters. And now it's going to be a bit harder to predict, at least as of now, it's going to be a bit harder to predict what the character will look like when you go out and try to battle someone in arena. And the way you're going to farm these mods is on a table that will be called Mod Battles, which is unlockable at level 50. So pretty early when you unlock this, so it's not going to be exclusive to the top players, which is kind of nice. So you can start farming these when you're working at a low level, and it's kind of it's one of those things that we have to wait till we see it to actually fully understand it. But when I mentioned that I might have to stop farming Anakin, is because on this mod table there isn't any new type of energy that's going to be released, and instead you're going to have to use Cantina Energy. So Cantina Energy, as you know, that's the farm at the Cantina table where you have, your Royal Guard, your Anakin Skywalker, what else do we got out there? Geonosian Soldier, all those good characters. I mean, literally, Cantina has a lot of great characters there. So this mod table, it might have to divert your attention. So if you're someone who already has a lot of good characters and you're kind of farming like just some good, fun, random characters like I am with Anakin, there may be this might be a time to stop farming those characters and use that energy for the mod tables, because now if you don't have these mods on your characters, it's probably going to prevent you from doing well in arena. And with this whole mod thing, with that card, when you put these six cards in these slots, it's a lot of information to take in. But essentially, a mod that you install, it has like a primary stat, so either it increases your character's health, speed, protection, stuff like that, and then they have secondary stats to it. So you have this primary, you have this, then it can have up to 4 secondary stats. So I'm guessing maybe you can add a sub. I don't know. This is really weird, but maybe like a sub some sort of sub ability. So the speed might be the primary mod that maybe you can get, like add a little bit of protection, a little bit of health, or these 4 secondary stats just might be incremental improvements to your speed. Hard to say at this point, but you also have these levels that can be increased to level 15. So it looks like, might have to use your credits as well to get up there. And luckily I've saved my credits. I've hit 15 million. I wasn't suspecting anything like this to come, but it was mainly for, when I get General Grievous finally, I'm just gonna max him out right away. But it looks like you're gonna have to worry about using your credits in this. So another credit crunch here. And then there's also another aspect to these mods where there is some sort of rarity level. So this rarity, there really isn't much detail on it, but this rarity of the mod ranges from 1 to 7, and apparently it cannot change. So I'm guessing maybe the higher the rarity, the better the mod is. That's kind of intuitive, I think. So we'll find out more about that later on. But another thing that you have, so obviously from what I'm reading here, is that you could group the same type of mods together. So apparently if you assign multiple mods of the same set to a character, you get some sort of set bonus. So like for example, they say some sets require like 2 assigned mods and others require 4. And then I guess there's a maximum too. So when you get this bonus from using a set, you only can have up to 3 sets to be active at a time. So that means so at most you can only have 3 sets of 2 active at a time. So I'm guessing maybe so there's not too many bonuses happening. Not exactly sure there yet. And then yeah, once you have all these bonuses, apparently it's gonna make your character better. So I'm guessing maybe if you have a couple of speed mods together, so you have a set there, maybe this bonus will give you some sort of additional speed or some sort of, I don't know, maybe some sort of special ability. Not too much detail here, but this is kind of interesting. So way back when, to those who've played this game for a long time, there used to be a section of the game where you can actually sell your gear, and I kind of wish it was back, but at the same time you kind of get used to it that it's not there anymore. But they're allowing you to sell your mods, which in turn can be used for credits. So that's what the old like store that we had was, where if you have all this gear, like let's say you have 1,000 purple gear, you can sell some of that gear for credits, and you got a decent amount out of it. They took that out mainly because they said that people were removing stuff they didn't know was useful, and it was kind of upsetting them. So what they did with this is that they're giving you like filters to first off quickly identify those mods that you want to get rid of, but at the same time they're allowing you to like lock mods, so you don't accidentally sell them off or destroy them or whatever. And on top of leveling up, this rarity, these sets that are going on, because as you upgrade these mods, they're supposed to become more and more powerful. So you can level up these mods by getting them to level 15, and then as we said, each level up that you get, it increases like this stat on the mod. And then with these secondary stats that are being added, it's like usually increments of 3, I believe. At level 3, 6, 9, and 12, a secondary stat's going to be added, or some secondary stat on this mod it's going to be increased. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here. At this point, it still appears pretty vague, but the general point is, if you just want the quick rundown about what this mod means, or this whole mod upgrade is supposed to be, it means that things are going to get shaken up a little bit. So my prediction is people are going to experiment a lot, and there's going to be a lot of variation in terms of character mods, what people are using, what works the best. And then eventually, I studied economics in college, and how it works is kind of like when a new product comes out to the market, like something brand new that we've never seen before. The prices are kind of everywhere, quality is kind of everywhere, but because of competition, which we know there's a lot of competition in Arena, things begin to move towards some sort of equilibrium. So it's kind of also how the squads are, like with the squad lineups. Kind of when a new update came out, like Protection, people are doing crazy things, from doing Empire, Ewoks, all Jedi, all Sith. And then all of a sudden people started kind of merging towards this equilibrium of this dodge meta, where you have Dooku, Ben, and you know the story from there. So I can almost guarantee you that's going to happen. That's how human behavior works. That's how a lot of economics works, is that things kind of move towards an equilibrium, especially when you have competition forces kind of pushing on that type of behavior. So we're probably going to see that there's a certain mod lineup that works best. Everyone's using it, and if you're not using that mod lineup, people come in, attack you, kick you out of arena, so you fall further down. So we're gonna have to, between you and me, we have a lot of learning to do. This is a huge element to the game, kind of like Raid, where no one kind of knew what was going on, and eventually we just kind of dealt with it, and we learned how this whole thing worked out. So let me know what you think about this. A lot of stuff to chew up here, mainly with this mods. When this comes out tomorrow, it's tomorrow, July 12th. It's not mandatory. It will be for people who wish to update it early, try it out before other people do it. But for those of you who aren't updating till later on, this will become mandatory coming July 12th and coming July 13th. I'm sorry. So when this comes out tomorrow, I'm gonna try to record some gameplay, kind of get my initial thoughts going here, and we're gonna talk more about this. This isn't the last time you're gonna hear about this, I'm pretty sure. So let me know what you think about all this stuff. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna let this video keep running. This is one of the death squads I had to face that kind of surfaced up at the Galactic War, where you might find a lot of hard squads to fight. This one wasn't too bad. I faced a lot worse. Like, for example, the other day, I faced an Anakin lead with all clone allies, and that was a pain. There's way too much strong synergy going on, and a lot of pay-to-play characters that are sometimes hard to beat. So I'm gonna let this play, and then at the very end, just something very lighthearted and something funny, you'll see me fight one of those super easy squads with my Empire lineup, and I think the match lasts probably like 5 seconds because it was just completely a complete joke. So yeah, hopefully all that stuff gave you some good information. I hope you're looking forward to all this as well, and we're gonna talk next time and try to keep working on conquering Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Peace out.